Your Excellency Young Sik Choi, Mayor of Gyeongju, Your Excellency Joo-young Lee, Chairman of the Asian-Pacific Parliamentarian Conference on Environment and Development, I would like to send a special greet to my compatriots, Senators Aloysio Nunes Ferreira, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Commission of the Brazilian Senate, and the Vice Chairman of the Brazilian Senate, Jorge Viana. Distinguished delegates, members of parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank the people and the Parliament of Korea for hosting this exceptional event in this beautiful and colorful city of Gyeongju. It is a truly inspiring venue. During the opening ceremony of the 7th World Water Forum, I said that the world is getting better. I truly believe this. All over the world, there is a search for a better quality of life for all countries. There is absolutely no doubt that the water crisis is adding urgency to this search. From a water perspective, clearly, the world cannot continue on its current course. There is therefore an urgent need for an agenda aimed at transformative change that will lead to a shared, secure, and sustainable future to our precious water resources. I would go further and say that there is no better time this year to develop this agenda in every country in the world. This year, world leaders will adopt a new sustainable development goal on water and a global climate agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, we must be ready to act. The latest projections of the United Nations suggest that in 2015, almost 1 billion people will still live in extreme poverty. Many still do not have safe drinking water or proper sanitation. Many still suffer from hunger and preventable diseases. This situation is unacceptable, and yet it is a reality despite much of investments and actions over many, many years. Our challenge is to look beyond the issues of today and address tomorrow's priorities, which are reasonably foreseeable. We know that water availability will decrease. We know there will be more competition for it. We know there will be more intense and unpredictable floods and droughts. And we know the political challenges to put water high in the agenda will persist. Today, water is perceived as a problem, an issue that comes to the attention of politicians and the general public only when something goes wrong or there is a crisis. To solve the problem of this nature requires investment that must be diverted from other priorities. In my view, parliamentarians and ministers are central to provide a solution to this problem. You, parliamentarians, are responsible for the approval of national, regional, or local budgets, and you have a clear understanding of the multidisciplinarity nature of water and its synergetic effects in other sectors of our society. In the coming decades, the impacts of lack or excess of water will have to be translated into specific policies in local contexts. It is time that we focus on implementing these real solutions rather than avoiding the difficult political choices that have to be made. Ladies and gentlemen, this year we will see a global agreement on sustainable development goals and a global climate agreement. There is no better time to act. So I do believe that we have to see 2015 as a year of opportunity, during which political leaders at every level can decide on new directions. Given these perspectives, where should we start if we want water security to be the normal situation for every part of our global economy, society, and environment. First, I believe that we need to think about water storage infrastructure. Without it, there can be no water security. However, future water infrastructure must be multi-purpose by design. It must be viewed through the water supply, energy, transport, food, flood and drought lens. It must take into account the upstream and the downstream social, economic, and environmental impacts. As with any intervention in the natural environment, there are choices to be made, each with impacts that are both positive and negative. There are always costs and benefits, and ultimately, decisions have to be made. I firmly believe that the benefits far outweigh the costs. Second, we need to find ways to truly achieve shared responsibility. Experience shows us we cannot achieve sustainable water resources management without engaging all actors across sectors. We cannot simply allow the water debate to remain a battle between different sectors and viewpoints. We all agree that the resource is shared, but all over the world, we struggle to translate this into genuine shared responsibility. Third, water security requires a constructive enabling environment. Some people call this governance, but it can be thought of more widely to include the formulation of clear policies, institutions, information, and technology. Such investments pay dividends in the long term, although, unfortunately, everyone wants the results in very short term. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Water Council has long identified parliamentarians as critical to our efforts to mobilize political action. One way to do this is through tools that can help to find information, of which there are many examples around the world. However, another is to stimulate and encourage a dialogue between parliamentarians around the world, a much more difficult challenge. Therefore, as you debate water issues today, I would ask you to consider how to reach beyond the technical issues to mobilize parliamentarians to convert water from a problem to an opportunity and to convert opportunity into action. Thank you very much for your attention.